want to talk about something slightly different today, and that's mindset. And this is actually it's different, but it's exciting, right? Now, if you're watching this, you probably know that your child is capable. I spoke to a parent earlier on this afternoon who said to me, I believe in my child, I believe in her, I know she's capable, she's just a bit shy, she doesn't ask questions, she lacks the confidence, and that can affect her. So if you're watching this, you probably can relate to that, right? You know that your child has the the ability, but for some reason they're not reaching their potential, right? They're not achieving their goals and, you know, going where they should. So that's what this is going to be about today. So that's why today's talk is developing mindset for exam success and beyond. So not just exams, but exam success and beyond. Okay, so let me jump right in. I've got so many things in here. All right, so first of all, what is mindset, right? What does mindset mean? Now, from what I looked, mindset is a set of beliefs or a way of thinking that determines one's behavior, outlook, and attitude. So it's just your beliefs, just your thinking, and how that allows you to how that allows you to kind of approach things, yeah. And typically we have two types of mindset: growth mindset, which is based on the belief that people can change their intelligence or ability through hard work, practice, effort, and using the right strategies. And fixed mindset being the opposite, right? You can't change your intelligence, you can't develop, you can't get better, right? And sometimes, you know, normally when I talk to my students about mindset, I say that, you know, many times you have, say, even students doing quite well, you know, like in a higher class or something, and they have a fixed mindset because they have a fixed mindset of I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm doing really well, I'm not going to improve, like, you know, this is me, I'm really, really good. So you can even have a fixed mindset the other way. It can also affect you the other way. So I just want to jump right in and talk about what mistake do parents and students make? Well, we focus a lot on the strategies, we focus a lot on the learning, we focus on the road, right, to achieve the goals, but we forget that actually our beliefs can affect us, you know. And this is why I go back to the parent that I spoke to earlier on today. I really liked speaking to her because she really was talking about, yes, I know that she needs to do this, she needs to study harder, she needs to do independent learning, but actually she also needs to develop her confidence, right? So she was one of those parents who went ignoring the child's belief. And, you know, many times what we can do as parents or as students is we forget that bit. Now, by having the right mindset, right, it shapes the way that the students experience their world, their school, how they respond to setbacks and adversity. So essentially it pushes us when we want to give up, right? It pushes them when they want to give up. They see setbacks as challenge, they strive to do better. So they come up with alternative strategies when things don't work. So when they're trying to focus on their studies and it's not working, they think of alternative strategies, and essentially it just helps with perseverance and growth, right? It helps the students persevere and grow. So what I want to go quickly through is some of the mistakes students make, right? From a belief standpoint that can affect them. And the first one is not wanting to look clever or being a hard worker. Now, I can super relate to this. And the reason being is I had a situation where I moved to the UK around the age of 11. So kind of secondary school, start at the secondary school. And I moved from a part of the world where education is, never mind, was taken seriously. Not a lot of people have education there. And I loved education, actually, as a kid. I really loved education, and I had a thirst for learning. And it was also just generally a culture where people work hard, like education was seen as important. And so when I came here, I very quickly, I realized that it wasn't cool to show you like to learn or you're clever. Not that I never really considered myself as clever, but I always wanted to do quite well. I always wanted to do better. It wasn't cool. I was called Buffin. I didn't know what Buffin meant, but I knew it was not a cool name, and it meant that I needed to stop working so hard. And so after a while of that happening, I did stop working so hard, at least in front of people, in front of the other students. I worked quietly as much as I could to myself, but not in front of other students. And that has its effect, because it meant that I didn't reach my potential. I didn't put my hand up in class and ask questions or answer questions, for it to really bring the best out of me. So I can completely understand that with many students. You do have many students who don't want to look clever. They don't want to be the hard worker. And so they kind of shy. They tend to shy away. So the advice here that I would give for this is, I came across, I'm not going to say this right, but I came across a quote that said something about, I am taken, I'm the only me, I can't be anyone else. And I think it's having that mindset, that belief of, this is me, take me as I am, and it doesn't matter. Easier said than done, because obviously when you're in school and certain school environments can be harder for you to show your true self, but it's basically trying to work and develop in that I am confident in my own skin, because the sooner we do that, the easier and the better it is for us. The second one is not wanting to look dumb. So this is the opposite of not wanting to look clever. And I blame society a little bit for this, because I don't know about you, but I feel like we hear success stories, don't we? Right? We hear Oprah Winfrey is doing wonderful. We hear this person on X Factor, or I can't remember the name of this program anymore because I don't watch TV very much, but Leona Lewis. So it's just, that's the name that came to my head. It tells you how long ago I watched X Factor or Pop Idol or whatever, has got this deal and so on and so forth. We hear success, but we don't really hear the failures. We don't really hear the journeys. And I think this is why a lot of students have this not wanting to look dumb, because they see success and failure as two separate things, right? Just as you can see in that picture, success is one route, failure is another route. And actually, I wish I knew this when I was a kid, but what I'm starting to learn now myself is failure is success. Failure will lead you to success. Like even with me personally and what I'm doing right now, I come across so many challenges. And in fact, I just came across a challenge recently, like 5 minutes ago. And while it's frustrating at that moment, I realized 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, a day later, oh, I've learned from that, right? That is one step forward. And so the advice here then is for students to understand that failure is the path to success. There's so many quotes about this. Failure is the path to success, and so on and so forth, right? So they know that it's okay to fail. It's okay to look dumb. It's okay. I love saying to my students all the time, ask questions, answer. It doesn't matter if your answer is wrong. We are going to learn that way. In fact, scientifically proven, if your answer is wrong, you're going to learn better and keep it in than if you sort of kind of knew the answer anyway. Yeah. So it helps with focus and perseverance. It's linked to achievement, and it helps to improve time management. Again, this is something I can relate to. I went all the way through university when I did up to my postgraduate. I would rather spend money on big books to look for the information than to just put my hand up and ask the lecturer because I was shy. You know, how much of a waste of time is that? That's not good time management, you know? So basically doing things like that can really help students to actually turn it around, you know, helping them to focus on the journey. That failure can be the journey or part of the journey. So focus on the journey to getting that your goal, and not just, oh, what a stupid answer is that. The third one is feeling of inadequacy, feeling they're not good enough. You know, this could be my friends are getting better grades, they're in a higher set. No matter what I do, I can't seem to get better. And here is where the growth mindset comes in. It's that mindset of the intelligence can develop, that you can get better if you use the right strategies, right? And you get help from others. And this is so much easier said than done. It's something that we all struggle, whether we're students or adults. But this is where the growth mindset, this is where the key thing is, to focus on the growth mindset. So in my class, this is one of the tasks that I do with my students. And it's basically looking through to transform their thinking, some of their limiting thinking, and think of what can they say, how can they change that to have more of a growth mindset. So, you know, your typical, I just can't do maths. Well, I just need to practice harder. You know, I just need to spend an extra time. I made a mistake. You know, that's fine. I can learn from the mistake. So rather than sort of thinking of something in the negative, how can you turn it into the positive? So this is a task that we help with. It's like a superhuman task that we do. And I find that this really, really helps our students. Number 4 is having a poor work ethic. And obviously, where you don't have that belief in yourself, why have a work ethic, right? Why put in the time, the energy, the bandwidth, if you don't have the belief? Because you're like, I've already failed anyway. I'm already in this set anyway, right? And this is one of the issues we have, like with the set system as well in schools, is that sometimes it subconsciously puts us in a place of, this is who I am, this is where I am. Yeah. And so people think, okay, I'm not good enough. It means they don't try. And it leads to that fear of trying, or specifically fear of failure. Yeah. So you can see from this graph, this was and I like data. Data is quite good because you can actually really see things. This was done by the team, Dweck team. So this was like the lady that several years ago really coined this growth and fixed mindset time words. And you can see how you've got on the red line is students who received, so these are seventh graders maths grades. Yeah, so I think 7th grade is our year 6 here. Students who receive study skills training and growth mindset program, the red one. Grey one, students who receive study skills training only, right? Now, can you see how before that program that they'd had, the grey ones, the one who received study skills training, their level actually dropped, right? Interesting, isn't it? That you do study skills and your level will drop. Compare that to the ones who receive study skills and growth mindset, their levels actually increase, is going up, right? So this shows you just how powerful mindset is, right? And this is why what you do here, like if you've looked at my roadmap, by the way, I know some of you are new to this group recently. If you haven't seen the roadmap to help your child pass the GCSE Science, type roadmap below and I will send it out to you. But this is why we do study skills here because it's important, but we also focus on mindset here because we know how powerful it is and how much it can transform the students to really crush it, to really keep going, when there's challenges, and not be bored and not give up. The fifth one is that students set themselves up for failure. So this is very much linked to this one, which is like, okay, they're not putting in the effort, right? So if you don't believe in yourself, you don't put in the effort, you have that full mindset of, well, I'm not going to do good anyway, then of course you're not going to do good, right? So again, this is from the same team, and they have done, the gray one says students holding a fixed mindset, the red one is students holding a growth mindset. And this is a test done on 10th graders. I believe the 10th graders are year 9 students here. So what you have from this graph is a percentage earning, a top 20% score. You can see that the ones with the growth mindset far outperform the ones with the fixed mindset. Or let me rephrase that properly. You can see that far more students are achieving higher grades, right, with the growth mindset than with the fixed mindset. Then also, if you look at the percentage earning a bottom 20% score, you can see far more students with a fixed mindset are earning a 20% score than those with a growth mindset. Yeah, so really working on a mindset is quite important. And this isn't even just for students, it's for us as adults. And it's, you know, I wish that all of the information out there about mindset, I knew it when I was growing up, it would make such a massive difference. So doing it now is so much better than living it later. I want to talk also just very quickly about mindset in the science and maths within the STEM. And they do a lot of research around how mindset affects students around the STEM. And one of them is that it tends to really, for students in the STEM, it really helps with the improvement in grade in the maths and the science, that kind of field. So it's really, really specifically or particularly even more important for students, you know, doing maths and sciences and that allied sort of subject. It can also help with where you have discrepancies. So whether it's women or whether it's certain minorities, it can help them to start to now pursue careers within STEM, right? So yeah, mindset is really, really important, not just in general, but also for sciences as well. I think this one here is looking at math. So just a quick report on benefits of growth mindset. It improves our learning and abilities, right? It develops that resilience. We keep going when we want to stop. It develops the understanding that there's no success without failure, right? I think that's really powerful. For me, that's actually quite a newish thing to me, but understanding that it's okay, it's to fail to succeed. The students focus less on grades and more on improvement. Again, that's powerful. And this is one thing that we've been doing here, rather than just focusing on that end result that, you know, jump 2 grades in science, jump 1 grade in science. We also want them to focus on their mini wins, right? The mini results that they have and how they've improved. It shapes the way they navigate the world. And they also see setbacks as challenge, and it helps them to strive to do better. Yeah. So, right, guys, I really hope that helps.